My dad ambushed me with lawyers to grab my inheritance, so I called Grandpa's attorney. I refused to hand my dad my inheritance, so he invited me to a family meeting. One look at the table and I knew it was a setup. I'm Jason, 28. My grandfather left me his $3.2 million trucking company when he passed last year. My dad, Martin, expected it to go to him, but the will was clear. It all goes to me. I walked in and saw Dad, my stepmom Joanne, and two lawyers in sharp suits. Papers were spread everywhere. The slick one slid a folder toward me and tapped the signature tab. Jason, we've prepared a simple asset transfer. Your father is better equipped to run a business of this size. Sign here. He pushed a pen across the table like I was a kid who needed help holding it. Dad leaned back with that smug look he wears when he thinks he already won. Son, this is best for the family. Grandpa would understand. Joanne lifted her soft voice. Honey, trucking is stressful. You're young. You should enjoy life, not sit with spreadsheets and drivers calling at 2 a.m. The second lawyer opened his case. We've also prepared a trust. $5,000 a month for you is very generous. $5,000 a month from my own company, they added. The bank will get nervous if you run things. They said vendors would walk and drivers might quit. They said there was a notary waiting in the car so we could wrap it up today. They stacked the pages so the transfer price read $1. There was even a non-compete that would block me from ever working in trucking. They kept talking like a clock was ticking. But Grandpa saw this coming. 3 months before he died, he called me into his office that smelled like diesel and coffee. His hands shook from chemo, but his voice was steady. Jason, your father will try to take this business. When he does, call Philip Turner. Don't argue. Don't negotiate. Just call Philip. He gave me a card and made me put it in my wallet. He walked me through routes, insurance, maintenance, and DOT rules. He put me in dispatch on a Friday when trucks were down and a storm closed the pass. He showed me payroll, safety files, and the audit binder. By the time he passed, I could read a P&L and tell if a lane was worth it. Back at the table, I flipped through the transfer. It was worse than it looked. The trust payments stopped if I got a job at the company or asked questions. The non-compete was 10 years. The asset list even included Grandpa's old watch. Dad smiled like the deal was kind. Let's not make this hard. Just sign and we'll keep you comfortable. I closed the folder. No. The slick lawyer cleared his throat. Jason, if you refuse, your father can contest the will. It could drain the company. Joanne dabbed her eyes like a TV show. Honey, we love you. We just want stability for the employees. Dad switched from sweet to sharp. You don't know what you're doing. You'll wreck what your grandfather built. He reached over like he might take the folder. I pulled it close. Touch my stuff and I call the police. I took out my wallet, slid out the old card, and dialed. Philip, it's Jason Matthews. It's time. Dad stared at me. Who are you calling? Your stunt won't work. 5 minutes later, the doorbell rang. Philip Turner walked in with a briefcase. He'd handled our family's legal work for 30 years. The two lawyers went pale when Philip said, I represent Jason. Philip sat down, opened my folder, and read fast. Martin, your father added a clause to the will. Any attempt to coerce Jason to transfer assets triggers immediate legal action and a restraining order. He set his briefcase on the table and pulled out a thick file. Walter documented your talks about the inheritance. He printed messages where you called Jason immature and said you'd take control after the funeral. The slick lawyer tried to sound casual. This is a family chat. There's no coercion. Philip tapped the stack of transfer pages and the $1 price. This is coercion. This is undue influence and attempted interference with an estate. You are now witnesses. Please leave before I add malpractice. Joanne broke first. Martin, please, this is going too far. Dad snapped at her and the mask came off. Sit down. Philip turned to me like nothing about Dad's tone surprised him. Jason, we'll file a report today. No contact order regarding the business and its people. No calls to employees or visits to the yard. He dialed. We're starting the record now. The two lawyers stood up fast and mumbled about a conflict. They walked out. Joanne grabbed her purse and followed. Dad stayed. His face was bright with anger. This isn't over. That company should be mine. Philip didn't flinch. It is over. The will controls and the clause is clear. You're done, Martin. Dad slammed the door so hard the windows shook. Philip closed the folder and handed it back. Your grandfather expected you to stand up like this. He was right about you. Bring your ID. We're going to file. Now my family is calling me ungrateful for the restraining order. Was I wrong?